GREENPOINT Williamsburg Public Affairs presentation. This is Neighborhoods Today.
Hello and welcome to Neighborhoods Today. I'm Nick Stefenizzi, and we're here at Our Lady of Mount Carmel in the Williamsburg section of Brooklyn to celebrate with them their annual feast to Our Lady of Mount Carmel and St. Paulinus. At this time, with some more information on our structure, I'd like to give you Danny Smith.
First of all, I'd like to introduce my committee who worked so hard throughout the year. On my extreme right is Mr. Pat Grandy. Next to me is Mr. Martello, and to my left is James Delacono. Okay, took us just about 9 months to complete this project. We started back in August. Some of the molds that we used were built back in 1927, are decayed now, and they had to be repaired. All right, the molds are made out of, the forms here are made out of paper mache, and they're set into a plastic cast, and they're left to dry for a few days, and that process takes a long time. I'd like to introduce Mr. Martello, and he's going to talk a little bit about how the tradition was brought over from Italy. Mr. Martello?
Hello, thank you. And I was in Italy at that time. I'm talking about 1920 when I came. But this tradition is about maybe 200 years old. See, I came, was about 17 years old. I was working on these things. I come over here in this country. I was 17 years old, and then I remember that I used to work with my father and all the rest of them. And the first thing, when I came in America, everybody knew my father, and they said they wanted to make the statue, the genie, this and that. I took a chance. See, I took a chance. Somebody had to put a couch for me, you know. My father-in-law put $2,000 for, in case I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't have done, see, because I was too young. But I had enough for brains because I learned on the other side. And then I was 24 years, I made the first one in this country. It's 1927. See, and since then I made it over here in Brooklyn, in Astoria, Harlem, Cliffside, New Jersey. I brought it all over. And then now I'm too old. I ain't doing that. I'm glad these kids that took over, and I like to help them. And I'm glad they did a good job, a nice job, and God bless them and everybody.
Thank you, Mr. Martello. As you can see, it's filled with a lot of tradition, and a lot of love and care went into the building of these pieces. All right, I'll call on Mr. Jimmy Dell here to say a few words.
Well, you could see it took an effort by all of us, really. We got along so well, and you could see the results. It took. Well, it was very time-consuming, but the end results, we're so proud of what we did. Thank you.
Okay, and that's about it. Patty, would you like to say a few words?
Thank you. It was a pleasure working with all of you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for your time.
Okay.
Giglio Sunday is a big, big day in terms of this festival. That, of course, is the time when the men of the parish dance the Giglio and boat down the streets in front of the parish hall. Sarge, as a former Capoparanza, maybe you can give us a little personal insight into what it feels like out there in the street on this very special day.
Well, I'm sure everybody sets himself out in an organization or a job. You set goals for yourself. And when you join the feast committee, it's everybody's goal to be a capo number one. I wish everybody could enjoy that feeling. It is a complete feeling of joy. Your whole body, you think nothing but good thoughts that day when you're number one out there. Really quite an honor, feeling, just the greatest feeling you ever want to achieve. So one of your goals, whatever they are in life, I've achieved one. I became number one on the Mount Carmel Feast.
I think I'm beginning to get very jealous here. I'm surrounded by two former number one capos, and it sounds fantastic. We've spent some time talking about the events of this day. Now we'd like to show you some highlights of that very, very special day in this feast.
It's very difficult to say how do you feel about the feast. To me, it's like life. I wait for this every year. I've been in it since as far back as I can remember, 6 years old. My father put me on a statue when I was about 8 years old, sang my first song, and it's just life. It's fantastic. It's just something spectacular. It's in our blood, and we were brought up with it. And it's going to stay there, and I hope that the younger generation gets to feel exactly as we do, that they have it in their blood, and they will continue this tradition, because it's something that cannot be forgotten.
This day is a day of joy and celebration. We find a living tradition, a tradition that has begun in Italy, and it's carried on today by their ancestors. But more importantly, we find a celebration, an expression of faith of these people, a faith in God and a faith in their church, a faith in their patron saint, which brings them together as a community, as one church together in this faith in God, in this Catholic faith that they have. This is an expression of tradition and faith together. This is what makes it such a day of joy and of celebration.
This day means a lot to us because it's been a tradition around this neighborhood for years, and our fathers before us, and it's been a part of our life for the last 15 years. And it's a very, very important day for us, and I hope I can keep continuing till I'm as old as they come.
This day is a special day because a lot of different ethnic groups gather together, especially the Italians, to celebrate a most memorable feast that happened back in Italy. And it's a chance for me to meet people, to talk with people, and to have a good day, and also to give them something and make a little money on the side.
As you can see by now, this festival is just chock full of tradition. Another being the Questra, meaning the distribution of the blessed bread throughout the parish. Sam, maybe you can tell us a little something about this tradition.
Well, actually, we go out in 3 different groups, the north side, the south side, and we extended to GREENPOINT a couple of years ago. And actually, the blessed bread is more or less, Questo means like you're begging. That is the word, you're begging for money. And we go out, we enjoy ourselves that day, and then we try to bring everything to the people. Like Sarge mentioned and Father mentioned, we go to the people of the neighborhood, and this is our way of also collecting a few funds for the feast.
What we'd like to do now is to share some scenes of some of the very special things that happen in this celebration with you.
Good morning, everybody. As you know, today is our official day for selling the bread, which we call our Questo. We'll be going out through the streets of Williamsburg, the north side and the south side, and also GREENPOINT. We have 3 groups with 3 bands going out. This is a way we provide funds for the festival, pay for the expense of the festival. Right now they're in Jimmy Smith's yard. He's our #1 Cabo this year. They're in his yard having breakfast. They take a tab for all the expenses of the breakfast. And we go out and we enjoy ourselves today. This is our day of enjoyment.
Okay, I am Basti's mother, one of the capos of Our Lady of Mount Carmel feast. Today is one of my happiest days, as today is called Cuesta Days. I prepare for all my son's friends and my daughter Lucille with my sister-in-law Sue and my other helpers do all the cooking for our Cuesta of the North Side Basti's crew. Today is a happy occasion for me, my son, and my family. May everyone enjoy this day.
In terms of this feast, we've been talking a lot about things that represent certain things and traditions. I think the dancing of the children's boat really gets to the core of the traditions that we're speaking about. Father, maybe you can give us a little insight into that.
Well, in my own opinion, I think that one of the most important things is to maintain traditions in life. And if you don't incorporate a child into the traditions of some feast or some parish occasion, you begin to lose the young people. And I think what we have done here, and I give a great deal of credit to the men that work on the executive committee for coming up with this idea of a child's boat and a child's Giglio. And those 2 nights where you incorporate children into a feast and you give them something to look forward to. This tradition in this neighborhood will never die because the children are incorporated from a very, very early age. Today, so many traditions have fallen away and have gone by the boards. This tradition, I am sure, will stay and will continue because of the young people involvement from when they're 5 and 6 years old. There were 55 young boys on the rope gang who lifted the Giglio and the boat for the children during the week.
That's fantastic. And you know, you're talking about tradition, but one of the things that strikes me as you're speaking is the truth is sitting right here with us, because with us here today we have 2 former #1 capos, and they both go back and trace their roots back all the way to the children's boat. Sarge, maybe you can throw something out to us about that particular day in your life.
Well, when I was a younger fella, I started carrying wine for the lifters when my father was a lifter. And at that time, they were allowed to have a little drink once in a while with the Giglio. But I go from there to the present when I see my son carrying that pole at my lift and the straining on his face. Reminds me when I did it. I was a carrier. And I also have a little grandson that's 2 years old that knows this feast in and out. So I get a lot of flashbacks when I see the Giglio carried. Really,
that's really great. Sam, how about you? You have some thoughts back that far?
You know, today we have a rope gang. Years ago when I came in, we didn't have a rope gang. I went as a lifter. I was quite young then, but it grows on you, Nick. What can I tell you? For the love and devotion of this feast to us, it's everything. It's in your system, it's in your blood, in your heart.
Well, I think our viewers will appreciate the examples we really have right here of the devotion and the honor and the tradition that this feast is all about. What you're about to witness are the young boys of the community dancing their own replica of the boat. And it ensures that this deep-rooted tradition is carried on from generation to generation.
I do it in honor of St. Paulinus and the church, and my family been in it through the whole life. Thank you. I do this in honor of my church and honor of St. Paulinus.
We lift the Giglio on the boat because we like it and we think it's fun.
It's an honor to our church, and it's lots of fun.
We do it to represent our church and St. Paulinus.
Sorry. Excuse me.
Glad that I've been invited here today to join with Father Casada and the others on what is a great celebration for this community.
The day here for all of us is bringing families together under the banner of Our Lady. All of us here enjoy ourselves as a family of the church and a family of blood.
I hope that our viewers and all of us have learned something about the tradition of the people in this community. It's a tradition that pays tribute to the past, nourishes the present, and brings hope for the future. I'd like to say thanks to Father David Casada, Sam Caggiano, and Sarge Miranda for all their help in putting this together. And let's not forget there were literally hundreds and hundreds of people who added to this help and put this feast together. I fully realize now all the love, warmth, and enormous energy that exists in this, our neighborhoods today.